Ever heard of a guy parachuting out of a plane with a bag full of cash and just vanishing?
Sounds like something out of a movie.
That's exactly what D.B. Cooper pulled off back in 1971.
Crazy.
And that's what we're diving into today, the mystery of D.B. Cooper.
One of the most enduring mysteries in American history, for sure.
It's November 24th, 1971, Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. Just a regular day, right?
Yeah, totally normal day for everyone except, well, D.B. Cooper, I guess.
Yeah, so tell me about this guy. Who's D.B. Cooper?
Well, that's part of the mystery. No one really knows for sure.
Really?
We have descriptions from the passengers and crew, but nothing concrete. He used the name Dan Cooper at first.
So where'd the DB come from?
It was a miscommunication with the media early on, and it just stuck. But anyway, he boarded the plane, looked totally ordinary, mid-40s business suit, blended right in.
So he didn't exactly look like a brazen criminal.
Not at all. And that's what makes this case so interesting. He was very meticulous in his planning and execution.
So what was his plan? How did he pull this off?
Well, once the plane was in the air, he hands the flight attendant a note.
What did the note say?
It was a list of demands, $200,000 in cash, specifically in $20 bills, 4 parachutes.
Oh, 4.
Yep, 2 primary and 2 reserves. And get this, a fuel truck ready upon landing in Seattle.
Whoa, okay, that's specific. He wasn't messing around.
Nope, this was clearly premeditated. Even the type of parachute he asked for the NB-8, it wasn't common for skydiving, which makes you think maybe he had some kind of military or specialized training.
So this wasn't just some random guy who decided to hijack a plane on a whim.
Definitely not. The level of detail in his plan suggests a deeper knowledge of aviation and a very clear objective.
It's mind-blowing. So what happened next? Did they just give him what he wanted?
Well, the FBI got involved, of course, and they negotiated with Cooper while the plane circled over Seattle.
I can't imagine what it must have been like for the passengers and crew up there, knowing there's a hijacker on board.
It must have been terrifying. But ultimately, the priority was everyone's safety. So the authorities gathered the ransom money, got the parachutes, and had the fuel truck ready.
All according to plan.
Exactly. Cooper was calling the shots. He let the passengers and some of the crew disembark in Seattle.
So he wasn't interested in harming anyone.
That's a thing. It seems his only goal was the money and escaping with it. He even let a flight attendant choose which parachute he would use.
So he kept some of the crew on board.
Yeah, he did. He gave the pilots very specific instructions on where to fly next towards Mexico City at a low altitude below 10,000 feet.
So they were flying towards Mexico City with this hijacker and a bag full of cash in tow.
That's right. And somewhere between Seattle and Reno, under the cover of darkness, Cooper did the unthinkable. He put on a pair of sunglasses.
Those iconic sunglasses.
Yeah, those ones. He grabbed his money and jumped out of the back stairwell of the plane. It was a Boeing 727, by the way, which had a unique air stair that could be lowered during flight.
Wow. Talk about a daring escape. So did anyone see him jump?
No one saw the actual jump. The pilots couldn't see him from the cockpit, and the crew members inside were following his orders to stay put. It wasn't until they landed in Reno and realized he was gone that they knew he had jumped.
He just vanished.
Gone without a trace.
So what happened after that?
The FBI launched a massive manhunt, one of the biggest in their history. They searched the potential landing zones, interviewed hundreds of people, chased down every lead, but Cooper was never found.
That's incredible. After all that planning, all that risk, he just disappeared.
And that's why this case continues to fascinate people to this day. There have been some interesting leads over the years, though. In 1980, a young boy found a portion of the ransom money, about $5,800, buried along the Columbia River.
Wait, so he might have survived the jump?
It's possible, but there's still no definitive proof. The discovery of the money just raised more questions than answers. There were also a lot of reported sightings of Cooper over the years.
Like people claiming to have seen him or knowing who he was?
Exactly, but none of those sightings were ever confirmed. It's like he just vanished into thin air.
So after all this time, who do you think D.B. Cooper was?
That's the million-dollar question. Was he an experienced skydiver? A disgruntled employee? A thrill seeker? We may never know for sure.
It's a mystery for the ages. And what about the money? The rest of it, I mean...
Aside from that small amount found in 1980, the rest of the ransom money has never been recovered.
It's crazy to think that somewhere out there might be a bag full of $20 bills from 1971 just waiting to be found.
It's a real-life treasure hunt.
So D.B. Cooper pulled off one of the most daring and baffling heists in history and got away with it.
At least for now.
It makes you wonder, what would you have done if you were in his shoes? Would you have taken the risk? Would you have tried to disappear like he did?
It's a question that everyone has probably asked themselves at some point. What would I do if I were D.B. Cooper?
It's a question that will probably continue to be asked for years to come, as long as the mystery of D.B. Cooper remains unsolved.
A mystery that continues to capture the imagination and remind us that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us for this deep dive into one of the most enduring mysteries in American history.
Until next time.
Keep searching for answers.
You never know what you might find.